Hello there. Well, you must be Adam Jensen.
A keen observation.
Mrs. Reed told me you might pay me a visit. And don't take this the wrong way, but you're kind of hard to miss.
I'll try to take that as a compliment. She told me you might have information regarding Megan Reed's case and the attack on Seraph headquarters.
Oh boy, what a mess. Total pissing match. We had the feds on our ass, orders from 3 different departments, and pressure from so many lobbyists it felt like being the scrawny new kid in the prison shower.
It is a very high-profile case. Mrs. Reed said you thought some procedures were overlooked.
You got that right. I mean, you know how it is. Mrs. Reed told me you used to be a cop. There's always cases where you see the lazy officers taking shortcuts. But this was different.
Different how?
Too much stuff got overlooked. People seemed way too eager to jump to conclusions, and every time I was remotely insistent, I got turned down by ranking officers. People wanted to bury this thing fast. That's never a good sign.
Surely you have something more substantial than this.
Yeah, well, that's where you come in. I got a couple of leads I could never fully investigate. I started poking around, but these government-type agents just gave me the creeps. I got scared. Months away from retirement, I didn't want to fuck things up. But you obviously have the means to get to the bottom of this.
So what have you got?
First off, there's a rumor that the order to close the investigation came from higher up, maybe even outside the local department. Anything like that would have passed through Captain Penn. There might be traces of this left on his office computer.
Guess I'll have to pay a visit to the local precinct.
Well, while you're there, there was an officer assigned to the case, Chet Wagner. He's not what you call a choir boy. And when he suddenly got brought on the case, I got suspicious. Somebody wanted him there. And I'm pretty sure he tampered with some of the evidence. You should talk to him. Find out what he knows.
Okay, I'll have a little chat with Officer Wagner.
You'll most likely find him in the lobby. He got retrograded from his conduct, and he takes depositions now. He won't budge easily, but I'm pretty sure you can find some dirt on him on his desktop. His office is on the 3rd floor. You might find something there to help loosen up his tongue.
Anything else worth looking into?
Yeah, when the order came down to close the case, the bulk of the evidence was stashed in a storage locker. Maybe you can find some interesting stuff in there. It's on the alley right next to the station. The code is 4891. But I know an outside agency had access to that locker, so be careful.
Thanks for the heads up.
It's nothing. And, please, don't bother coming back here with details. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad to help. But the less I know about this case, the better I'll feel.
Okay, more details.
How did you get assigned to this case?
I didn't push for it, if that's what you mean. To be honest, I didn't want to get involved.
Why not?
I was an honest cop, Jensen. I always tried to conduct myself in accordance with the law, with procedures, and what I believed was right. Not really the standard MO for a case like this.
I would guess he was assigned precisely because he was so close to retirement, so people thought he wouldn't rock the boat at that point.
You said an outside agency may have tampered with the storage locker. What did you mean by that?
Well, I've heard that government agents may have locked up some of the more sensitive evidence in a safe inside the locker.
Come on, Chase. What are you not telling me?
Damn it! Okay, listen. I snooped around that locker before and found the safe code. But I kinda got caught by one of those guys. He knows I know, Jensen. If I give you the code, they'll know I talked. Call me negative, but I can't think of a nice outcome to that.
We need the code.
Come on, Chase. You're the good guy, the honest cop. In a police flick, you'd be the straight arrow. You know deep down you want to do what's right. That safe code could mean a lot.
Don't paint me as a hero, Jensen. I'm a regular guy. But you're right, though. I always try to do the right thing. The code is 7196. But do me a favor. Can you at least try to hack the damn thing before punching in the code? If I'm lucky, it'll be enough to throw them off.
If they saw him notice the code, why didn't they just change the code? It doesn't make much sense. Anyway, we have a mission again. A proper mission. So, police station. Yes. Yes. Haven't visited there or there. I don't. I do want to go to the police station really quickly and wrap that up somehow. But I think there's another store here we can utilize. One Mr. Thorpe told us about.
You want to buy or sell something? It's all on the computer. What do you want?
I'm a friend of Greg Thorpe.
Really? Okay, I give you the egghead discount.
Egghead discount. I'm getting rid of the combat rifle ammunition. I'm sure it's a fine weapon, but we need room. Silencer. I'm buying this stun gun. I'm sure we'll find it at some point, but I'd like to get access to it right now.
Done.
That it? More or less. Yeah. But hello there. Payment received. Improved in catalog. No code for that. Yeah, this isn't particularly useful for us. Okay, we got what we came here for. So on to the police station. Plan A is to try to convince them to let us in there and take a look. If not, we'll find an alternative route. Earl's Court. I think the barrels might be good weapons. It doesn't cost so much to throw them. In fact, I don't think it costs anything. More importantly, they have a decent reach. Sewers. I think that's an alternative way to get into the police station and nearby areas.
Hey, Jensen. Long time no see. You're not here to see Wayne Haas, are you? He's a desk sergeant on duty right now.
I hate that when people refer to old acquaintances that you should know. You have no clue who they're talking about. Okay, we're going to talk to Chet Wagner.
Yeah? What do you want?
Information.
Then go bother the receptionist, Chrome Boy, instead of wasting my goddamn time.
Not that kind of information. I want to know about the Seraph Industries case.
Ha ha! And I want a blowjob and a vintage '05 Bard GT, so I guess we both keep on dreaming. Huh, metalhead?
You talk tough, but we both know that's all you can do. Deep down, you're nothing but a coward. Well, trust me, tough guy. I'm the real thing. If you don't give me what I want, I won't beat you up. I'll kill you.
Now listen, man, we obviously got off on the wrong foot here, right? I don't want no trouble.
Talk.
Okay, look. I just came in one morning, and there was an email with my new assignment in it. Official business. But there were also specific instructions. I had to check out the lab for footage from an IntelliCam. They told me to take it and leave it near a garbage can somewhere near the lake.
What was on it?
Well, it's not crystal clear, but mainly it shows the boys who attacked Seraph as they were breaching the labs. And it looked like they were bringing something in with them. Impossible to tell what.
Who asked you to do this?
You think I know? Orders are orders around here. They always come from above. And nobody asks questions. You just do what they say, and you hope you don't end up like Secretary Haas over there.
Attempting to access the 2nd Avenue Limb Clinic found their route blocked by
Yeah,
some
this
parts of the
did
Humanity
help, but
Front
not
movement.
getting inside.
Most of the streets are blocked out.
These offices are off limits to civilians, sir. Don't go in there.
Right. So Wayne
She
Haas.
knows what's what, that's why.
He'll determine whether we get in or not.
Yeah, hang on just a sec. Shit. Jensen?
Haas. Surprised to see you here.
Yeah, well, I guess you're better at looking out for yourself than I am.
I don't have time for your self-pity. I need to get into the morgue.
That's it? Now, forget it. I don't know what's going on with that body down there, but my orders come from the brass. No one gets in. First thing you say to me after almost 2 years is you want something?
Should I have given you an order? You've always been very good at following those.
God damn. Where do you get off being so self-righteous? You think I like this? Look at me. From SWAT team commander to a crummy desk sergeant in the 2-bit precinct. I don't need this from you. I get enough of it at home. So either come up with something better than your usual attitude, or you can just forget it, because you came to me.
Okay, look, you're angry, and you've got a right to be. I'm putting you in a bad position, but I have to get inside that morgue. I won't let it get back to you.
I'm always in a bad position. I don't see how I can possibly do this. There's so much heat right now, I'm telling you. The moment I open that door, I'm finished. I just got my life back together. This job is all I have. Don't make me do this.
This is a bit risky, but
Don't put this on anyone else. We both know the real reason you're stuck here is that you feel guilty about what you did. And until you face up to that, this is where you're gonna stay.
I knew it would come to that eventually. It all comes back to the kid, doesn't it? We were given a direct order, Jensen. So I took the shot. I followed orders. He was augmented, an unknown factor. He was too much of a risk.
He's definitely looking for someone to give him absolution from what he did, but yeah, I think we're going to go with that. He needs to get over it. Basically, a tough situation where almost a young kid got killed, and he hasn't forgiven himself.
We all make mistakes, Wayne. Nobody blames you for it. You have to believe that and forgive yourself, or you'll never put it behind you.
I know. It's just so hard. There's something I've been waiting 2 years to tell you. I blame you, Jensen, for everything that happened. Because when the chips were down, you got the order to fire, you refused, I got stuck having to do it, and you just walked out of my life. That's when everything went to shit, when you abandoned me.
Tendency to exaggerate and escalate the situation needs to be brought back down when doing so. I think that's bullshit, I mean what he's saying.
I've heard enough of this. You're lying to yourself. You pulled that trigger, no one else. You can't escape from that for the rest of your life. Accept it, make it a part of your history, and put it in your past. Because denial is only making it worse.
I can't. Oh, hell. You're right. I've been so stupid. 2 whole years. I've got to start turning things around. Right now. Go on in. Don't worry about the guys. They'll leave you alone. But I need to think.
Okay, that seemed to have gone very well. It's always a risk to try to basically try to crush or accuse someone, but
All the media speculation surrounding that hostage situation in
I felt it was sort of a secure option in this case, because if he had been able to deal with it, the situation,
Hey, how are you?
he wouldn't have been in this
Don't
situation
get
in
me
the
started
first
on that
place.
liberal crap.
So I think it was a safe option to take. Try to get him to take
Did you see it on the
responsibility
news?
for what he did.
Liza mentioned. All right, then. Bye.
More importantly, we can move about here without causing trouble. That's the important bit. Wayne Haas keycode reset. At least the cameras turn hostile the moment I went into the vent, so we can't move around all over the place. So I think most areas should be available to us now. Just have to be a little bit careful. We have 2 major missions here. One is to get into the morgue. But we also need to check the computer of Captain Penn, which is gets me a little bit worried, because getting into someone's computer is not exactly our strong point. Yeah, we can't hack any of these. Frazel. Don't have the codes. It's not a hard hack, so it's probably easy to assume that you just need to actually have the hacking skill. Okay, armory. Locking code. So good to know that there is an armory and we have a code for it. Machine pistol. We want codes. Weaponry isn't gonna be all that useful.
demonstration. This time, patients attempting to access the 2nd Avenue limb clinic found their route blocked by...
An office code 2231. Kenneth Dick.
supporters of the Humanity Front movement. The pro-human organization had received permission to gather and protest earlier in the week, but police decided to shut down the legal rally prematurely and close the Broadview tunnel. Perhaps they feared what might happen once the hostage situation in San Regardless.
So, you're saying your neighbor knows something about these disappearances?
Yeah. One of the boys who went missing lived in my building. He used to argue a lot with my neighbor Casey.
What did they argue about?
The boy used to listen to that conspiracy DJ, Lazarus. Used to blast that trash out of his window so the whole city could hear.
We
Casey
can't
was always
hack
yelling
these
at him to turn it
computers.
off.
We have the
And
skills.
what about that makes you think Casey's involved in his disappearance?
Well, one day I heard the boy yelling something.
But we're in the middle of a police station. A lot of people watching us. We just can't start hacking.
A couple of witnesses told me they saw you throwing Molotov cocktails at the Limb Clinic building.
Nah, man. That wasn't
Well,
me.
few
I don't
hundred
even know what that
credits.
protest was even about.
Well, that's funny. Because when we searched your wallet, we found a humanity. So what? Shit. Listen, we got tons of punks like you pretending they're right.
Mostly a waste of time, I guess, to be here.
Y'all didn't see me do nothing, so you can't charge me. I know my rights.
Hear about that shipment we just got in? From Connaught Technologies?
Sales and more.
Oh man, you're kidding me. They're finally gonna arm us with the PEPs?
That's right, my friend. The pulse energy projections. Single shot, fire concussive blast so
Maybe I'm going over things without too fine of a tooth comb, but I'd really hate to miss something vital. Okay. I think the first floor is done. Armory Detective Offices. I'm still mostly worried about how we're gonna get into Captain Penn's office. If it was a main mission objective, I wouldn't be too worried. At that point, I'm sure there would be a code somewhere. Because of the secondary mission, I'm not sure we can find the code. Or if there is a code, it might not be in any easy to find spot. Second floor armory. I don't think we can go in here. Lieutenant Libot. Captain Penn. Okay. At least it looks like we have a reasonable chance to get inside the office without any real problem. The vent should go in. If not there, then the office next to him. $300 credits. And next, alternative entrance to this place. I guess big thing is to try to avoid the first floor if you are coming in here without permission. Okay, this is Captain Penn's office. Morgue lockout. Interim code 9212. Cash. No code. It's only a security rating 2, so it's very likely that it just would require a little bit more hacking. It's really hard to justify not taking the couple of points in hacking. I mean, you don't have to raise to 5 or anything, but just one additional point would ease things quite a bit. And I don't see any kind of a code here. Well, we could do some kind of desperation attempt, I suppose. We need an actual login. Shit. Okay. Let's not do this yet. We need to go look at other things too. But let's keep a mind on Captain Penn's name.
Live from Picus.
If it appears on emails or something like that, maybe we can get some kind of a potential password out of that. I have very low hopes on that though. I think we're going to have to use another automated hacking tool on that. If that's the case, that's just fine.
This is Eliza Cassan, reporting to you.
We're gonna stay here until I get some answers, kid. We're talking about some serious fucking crimes.
Crimes? What are you talking about, man? My brother's missing and you want to charge him? Typical.
All right, let's try this again. From the top. When was the last time you saw Lucky, and who was he with?
I told you. It was like a week ago. We was hanging with some old friends.
Old friends. Right. Listen, we know you both used to run with the Motor City Bangers. We know Jason is still in deep, and we know he's into something big.
Yo, you got all the answers. Why you bothering me?
Okay, smart mouth. How does arms trafficking grab you, huh? Does that ring a bell? Maybe the DRBs are having a chat with your brother right now. What's the matter? Now you've got nothing to say? I've got all day, kid.
Are you gonna beat the table again? No? I do want to see where the air duct there goes. I'm just hoping maybe there's a better way to get in. No, this does not go into the same place, so it's a different system. Ooh, automated unlocking device. Very welcome. J. Alexander.
Access granted.
Okay, anything useful? Munchies. Hank the Tank. Nothing useful. Machine pistol.
This is what you get for demanding the truth, Georgie. This is what happens when you don't lie down and take it in the ass from the international bank.
Hero Baller Sewers.
Don't follow the biased doctrine of Picus and their slut puppet Eliza Kazan, Billy.
Access to Industrial Zone. Access to Industrial Zone secret.
Put in a cab for an indeterminate amount of time, Billy. Get comfy, kids.
Vent cover. Looks like another alternative entrance. Yeah, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. This would go somewhere in the roof, I'd imagine. This is only not a new, yeah, exit to Detroit City. Still need a Captain Pen computer access somehow. There's one air vent that goes somewhere I don't know.
About this cop. He gets all shut up and gets rebuilt as a cyborg.
Is that with Van Damme?
No, that's something else. I'm surprised you never heard of it. Takes place in the future Detroit.
I guess I'm just not into sci-fi.
Should be able to get into that office without hacking anything. Got a bit of cash. To Vincent Montarin, high priority. Okay, this is Wagner's computer. He was the guy we already got the information out of, so I don't think this will be useful. It should contain a leverage to bargain with him. We didn't need it anyway.
Granted.
Captain Ryan. Yeah. Unless his passcode is Ryan or Captain, it's not gonna help much, is it? It looks like we're going to have to use a unlocking device, which I'm okay with since we do have a couple of extra ones, and it is it looks like either we use it or we're not going to be able to do the mission, so it's definitely justified. Probably the best use of it that we've had so far. How did we get code for this? Don't remember. Doesn't matter. Any new codes? New, just a shotgun. Okay, we're going to use the automatic hacking device on Captain Ben's computer and then just go to the morgue. We don't have the time. The transfer, no transfer, severely buffs up that node. It costs us all of our remaining time, pretty much.
Access granted.
Nothing good. Nothing good and nothing good. It's a notification of the morgue lockdown. Anyone who doesn't have proper access needs to stay the hell out of there. Okay, this is still not the air duct I saw at the start. Yeah, it is not. So where the hell does that go? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Oh shit. Ah, the guard is looking directly at me. I need to find out where it goes. It's I'm not sure where it goes, but it's something that we haven't been in yet. Currently goes a lower floor, which is very encouraging. Laser system. This should be the armory then. It is. There's one guard there. I don't think we're supposed to be here, so I have to take down the guard.
We got a lot of topics to cover today, so let's not waste any time. I just got off the phone with a mother from Florida who confirmed what most of us already know, but I want to share it. They're doing drills, followers. FEMA is doing drills with our children and not even telling us. They're taking our kids to these secret camps that have been springing up everywhere.
I know where to open this directly. Oh, the hell did I look?
This is what happens when you don't lie down and take it in the ass from the international banking cartel, Tracy, and you don't follow the biased doctrine of blankets.
Yeah, that's better. So armory. Hips. I don't want to have anything to do with pips. Mine templates, concussion grenades. I think it's sort of a force weapon that may knock people unconscious. The may parts there makes it sort of unattractive to me. I'd like the reliable weapons with predictable results. Ready to fire up. I don't think the pistol really benefits from that, but not exactly. We don't have the inventory space to carry all this around. Yeah, fairly unremarkable loot overall. Still, weapon upgrades, weapon upgrade. It's welcome. There's no way we can get in there. So let's just take care of the pen business, get the hell out. Jay Manderley. Ooh. Following the recent incident at Sarif Industries, the body of an unidentified male terrorist was delivered to your morgue. You are hereby advised that this corpse has been classified ultraviolet under the revised Homeland Security Act. In keeping with Article 7 blah 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 blah, under no circumstances is the corpse to be transferred to the city morgue. It must remain in your own facilities until my people arrive to take possession. Pursuant to this, per Section 4, all persons of blue clearance or lower are denied access to your morgue. The medical examiner may remain on site, of course, to keep the body isolated, but there is to be no, repeat, no autopsy performed. These measures will be in place until I deliver the all clear. Thank you for your understanding in this matter. Joseph Manderley, Advisor to the Deputy Administrator, National Preparedness. Familiar names. More procedures. Sir, today marks the second time this year when I have been prevented from doing my job following an attack on Sarif Industries. If there exists some question about my skill level, my ability to be discreet, or the way I run my lab, demand that it be brought to my attention immediately. Professional courtesy requires a proper explanation. Okay, Zeke Sanders. El Gato, Ezekiel Sandoval. 3 siblings. This was the guy, the terrorist leader. Features. Hispanic, missing left eye, military tattoos including US Marine Corps sigil. Afghanistan, wounded, medical discharge. Re-enlisted under Recycle military program, operations classified, discharge under her Cessation Act. Attack on civilians in Glendale Shopping Complex, Los Angeles. 13 injuries, no fatalities. Siege and hostage situation. Diagnosed on site as post-traumatic acute dissociation. Remanded into medical custody. Neuroprosthetic Rehabilitation Center near Camp Topaz, UT. Declared cured 6 months later and released. Criminal activities. Leader of anti-augmentation domestic terrorist group claiming responsibility for numerous acts of breaking and entering, vandalism, theft, arson. Targets all associated with augmentation industry. MO of attacks consistently involves empty buildings with minimal security personnel, no fatalities. Over and done, Captain. Due to the present sensitive context, it is our recommendation that the case regarding the terrorist attack on Sarif Industries be filed and closed as soon as possible. In our opinion, the conclusions proposed at this stage of the investigation are quite satisfactory. I have appointed a state medical examiner to perform the autopsies on the victims. This is a critical situation and we must try to keep the information contained as tightly as possible. I'm certain you understand the public relations nightmare this incident implies and will act promptly and accordingly. Have your men reassigned by the end of the day. Again, Joseph Manderley taking direct involvement in Surf Industries incidents. It's a familiar name from Deus Ex 1. Anyway, we got what we came here for, so next stop, the morgue, then we had to go through the evidence locker.
Permission to gather and protest earlier in the week, but police decided
It should be in the back alley of the police station. That should be a relatively easy place for us to reach. But we can even go directly from the morgue, although it's below street level. Great experience.
Doing an autopsy on that John Doe they brought in earlier. Morgue's off limits until he's through.
Again? Purpose trespassing. Who cares if Sarah's rent-a-cop killed him?
Murder's not the issue. The way I hear it, our JD's a cop.
No way.
According to the first responders.
Shit. How much you want to bet that story's about to change?
That place offers nothing to us. I bet it would have been great if we didn't have permission to already be here. No, it makes no sense to try to go there. Not through that way at least. Reload speed upgrade. Ah, crap. Energy bar, and that's it. Yeah. Ah, hello, One Eye.
Come to gloat, Hanser? Enjoy it while you can. I won't be here long.
That's pretty optimistic talk from a guy facing terrorism charges.
Ain't gonna be any charges. You think your boss is the only powerful man in this city? The way I figure it, DA's getting a phone call right about now.
Yeah? Well, I know the DA. He can't be bought.
Ain't about money, Cholo. You and your company, you're fucking with nature, trying to control human evolution. But you got no clue what the real cost of your tinkering will be. Thank God a lot of other men do. Powerful men. Powerful enough to pick up a phone and get me free. Just watch.
Are we talking about your brother?
You stay away from him, Hanser. You even think about going after him. Oh, fuck it, man. You don't know nothing about my brother and me.
It's about his brother, I assume. Now, remind me, just coming here to check your doors, maybe look at your computers a little bit. Caution grenade. Okay, there's nothing really valuable here. Hello, ladies.
Sorry, baby. Can't do it through the bars.
Why couldn't you? They're bars. There's a lot of open space right there. The bars aren't all that thick, so it shouldn't be too tough to do, actually. Excuses, excuses.
About time. You the homesec guy I was ordered to wait for?
Tell Manderley I didn't get the memo until I was halfway through the autopsy. By then, it was too late to close him up again.
Right. So you recovered the neural hub?
Tricky bit of work that was. A few inches lower and the bullet would have fried more than just the pedal connectors. As it is, I can't guarantee you'll get anything useful out of it, other than the fact that it's been modified.
Modified? With what?
Some kind of wet drive. But hey, I didn't look. Ultraviolet means ultraviolet, and I know how touchy you guys get when it comes to matters of national security. He's all yours. The hub's been detached, but I left it in the skull as ordered. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got paperwork to fix.
Mission accomplished.
Boss, I got the neural hub. Looks like it's been modified with some kind of wet drive. Pritchard should have a look at it.
No, don't bring it here. Frank's not finished running his diagnostic, and I don't want to risk connecting any tech to our networks till he's done.
Especially if the tech is military. So what do you want me to do?
Take the hub to your apartment. I'll have Frank contact you there.
That's convenient.
What do you want now? Looking the other way for you guys is one thing, but I'm not going to help you carry him out of here. You're supposed to have a partner for that. Where the hell is she?
Yeah. Let's not try to cause too much trouble here. We got what we came here for. Sewers. I don't want to particularly go to sewers at the moment. I want to get to the evidence locker so I can go through that and then wrap up the police station at the same time. So I think it's better if we don't try to mix new areas into this anymore. So we're going to take a look at the sewers another time. For now, we're just gonna walk away.
Did you see it on the news?
Yeah, back alley. Locate the DMPD storage unit.
Jensen, I have a message for you from one of your former colleagues, a Detective Alexander.
Jenny? What did she want?
She said she could use some help if you can make your way over to Grand River Road. And might I just add, as wonderful as it is to have you back at the office, I am not your personal dating service.
Find all evidence related to the case. Okay. Confused witness. Apart from Saris' chief of security, who is still in a critical condition, and another lab technician who is lying in a deep coma in the same hospital, the only witness to the attack on Sarif who was left alive is a tech named Arthur Hopkins. Something peculiar regarding the witness's deposition or lack thereof. When we first got to the scene, Mr. Hopkins was waiting for us in a rec room near the labs. He was obviously in shock, but was quite coherent and ready to give a clear description of the incident. The emergency response team wanted to make sure his condition was stable before allowing us to interview him. When we came back after his checkup a few minutes later, he was incoherent and confused. He couldn't remember anything about the attack. We still haven't heard back from the ER team regarding this matter. Addendum, Captain Penn. The situation has been resolved with the medical team. Mr. Hopkins' condition has been validated. He suffered from a severe concussion. This matter is closed. Okay, attackers are definitely professionals. Quick rundown. There was no trace evidence found at what seems to be the point of entry. The incident didn't last long, but the amount of damage was excessive. There were a large number of victims, and yet not many rounds were fired, and the accuracy was spot on. The attackers were probably all marksmen. This was the work of top-notch professionals. This confirms that a new augmentation design was being tested just prior to the attack, but that the augmentation itself was unharmed and no files related to it were stolen. The obvious motive here is theft and/or corporate espionage, but why then destroy the facility and murder everyone? A competitor could no doubt benefit from such a catastrophe, but these matters were quite extreme, and to my knowledge, this is an incident without precedent. I want to note here that I brought this matter up with Lieutenant Ashbrook on multiple occasions with no concrete results. Autopsy Report, Megan Reed. I have been appointed by the state to perform autopsies on the remains of multiple victims of the attack on Sarif Industries. This is due to the critical nature of the incident and the need for the State Department to be fully aware of every detail without going through an endless array of bureaucratic forms and requests. This is in no way linked to the competence of local ME Dr. Gerald Campbell and shouldn't be interpreted as such. Final diagnosis. Vertebral injuries. Vertebrae in the neck area are displaced. Abrasion of the bones consistent with severe and sudden stress or pressure. Ligature strangulation. Abrasions found in the neck area. Hard to clearly verify due to severe burns, but throat seems crushed. Severe burns. Extremely severe burns covering the entirety of the body. Accelerant residue has been sent to chemical lab for analysis. Absence of fumes residue and ash in the lungs indicate burns are post-mortem. Toxicology report. No blood ethanol, no blood drug screen. So, clinicopathologic correlation. Cause of death is quick and intense snapping of the neck vertebrae combined with crushing pressure. Body was likely burned after the subject was deceased. That seems odd, because we know, again, Megan was bitch slapped at the end of the opening scene. One of the guys was carrying someone on his shoulder. I mean, if they... Why snap necks? They were shooting people all over the place. Why snap the necks of these particular people? What's next? Are we still missing? Okay, we got all the evidence. Probable use of unidentified high-tech compound. While examining the crime scene, Dr. Wayward and I both noticed that the area covered by the attack seemed abnormally damaged, burned to a degree that could not be explained by normal fires or the use of any known explosives. It was the same for all of the recovered victims' bodies. Residue analyzed by forensic lab officers of the scene likely comes from a high-tech accelerant of unknown nature. It seems the labs, equipment, and the victims were deliberately burned to an excessive degree. The most obvious conclusion is that this was done to eliminate all possible trace evidence, but it just feels odd, like something is off. I wonder how reliably we can even say that the victims are who we think they are. I mean, there has to be some reason for the positive identification. And one of the they were holding tracking systems, so that's, and at least one of them had augmented arm. The Russian guy presenting the Typhoon system for the general army general at the start, he had definitely augmented parts, so I guess those could be used as identification. But the autopsy is it's hard to say because it basically just goes for the cause of death. And I'm not sure, does the fact that there was no ash in the lungs mean that they were killed before bringing them into the facility in the first place? Because the facility was heavily on fire and surely there was smoke everywhere. So it seems unlikely that there would have been no signs of that in their lungs. So there's at least a possibility that they basically brought in already dead people, and that's why they burned everything to that high degree, because they wanted to obfuscate any traces of that. But I still find it hard to believe because of the tracking system and the fact that surely you can't just bring in any corpses, even if they're sort of suitable, especially since one of the guys was at least heavily augmented. Surely the augments would survive, and surely you can say it's not just some kind of random augmentation, that it is corresponds with the known augmentations for that guy. Probably Serif's own augmentations. So I don't know how that would work. It's hard to say though, because we don't really have access to all the information, but based on what we know and common sense, it would seem very unlikely that they could fool the investigators into thinking that some random bodies that fit because of age and gender could basically be fooling the investigators. That seems very unlikely. Bracelets. Lab notes of Megan Reed. It is hard to fathom it all sometimes. When I made that breakthrough in my research a couple of years ago, never thought it would get this big. I thought it was an anomaly at first, but it's become to genetics what universal assemblers are to nanotechnology. We're talking about the holy grail of DNA here. Hell, this is Gregor Mendel big. The thing is, I have to bury the truth. Not the discovery, but how I reached my results. It's become harder lately. I betrayed someone I respected for the sake of my research. I wish I had a chance to fix it, but it got bigger than me, bigger than Sarif. If this ever came to light, Sarif Industries could be ruined. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm tired. I think I'll just wrap things up for today. It didn't cause anything particularly useful. Return to Cassandra Reed near the Chiron building. Return to my apartment near the Chiron building. So we should be able to wrap up both things at the same time quite nicely and conveniently.
Welcome to the Detroit Automated Information Network.
New code found. Wait. Money.
Welcome to the Detroit Automated Information.
Have you found anything? Please, I've got to know what really happened to Megan.
I've investigated all of Detective Chase's leads. You were right. Something was off with Megan's case.
So, what did you find?
A lot of ifs and buts, but nothing really concrete.
There were only 3 people who got out of the labs alive. Me and 2 others. One died in the hospital a few days later. The second one, a lab tech, was ready to give a detailed description of what he saw. Funny thing is, by the time the investigators got to him, he couldn't remember a thing.
You sound like you don't believe that.
I don't. Not from the reports I've read. I think someone got to him first. An officer assigned to the case was asked to get rid of a major piece of evidence. Footage from one of our intellicams showed fuzzy images of the attackers bringing something inside the labs.
What? What were they bringing in?
I don't know. But for someone higher up to want that evidence gone, it must have been important. I got my hand on a test report that confirms what was bothering Chase. The attackers used excessive measures to make bodies and equipment unidentifiable.
Oh my God, Megan. What do you make of this, Adam?
I don't know exactly. I guess the idea was to leave no traces, no DNA evidence that would link back to them. But it just seems a bit too convenient.
Yeah, you could have just shot the people. I mean, if that's your major concern, surely you wouldn't have gone into neck-crushing rage either. It just risks all kinds of evidence being left behind. It's definitely someone's going through a lot of trouble to obfuscate what's really going on, and I guess he's done good enough of a job because we can't really see the whole picture either at this point.
Someone in the government, a man named Manderley, ordered that a specially appointed medical examiner perform the autopsy. He bypassed the local ME. Simply put, that's not a good sign.
It sure doesn't sound good. So what you're telling me is we couldn't find anything conclusive?
No, I'm sorry. But one thing's for sure. Somebody's been hard at work covering up and destroying evidence related to this case. Somebody with power, who wanted to erase anything that might have made the investigation linger.
Okay. Keep Orbit bracelet or give the bracelet? I guess is give it back to her mother or keep it as a memento. Again, it's hard to really say what you do because Megan to us is supposed to be, I guess, an ex-lover and a friend. But to me, it's just some weird-looking woman that I don't know at all. So why would I keep the bracelet?
I'm sorry, Cassandra. I wish I had more tangible answers to give you. But I did stumble on something I think you should have. I found Megan's bracelet. I'm sure she'd want you to have it.
Oh, Adam, that's very kind of you. Her grandmother gave it to her. She loved that bracelet very much. Thank you for all you did. And, do you know exactly how Megan died?
Her neck was snapped and her body was burned. Maybe she doesn't want to hear it like that.
I read the reports. She didn't suffer, Cassandra. I can promise you that.
Thank you, Adam. It's not much, but it still brings me some comfort. I miss her so much.
Don't worry, Cassandra. This is not over. I don't know how or when, but I will get to the bottom of this.
I knew I was right to trust you, Adam. But please, be careful. It's strange. I thought knowing what really happened would make me feel better. But nothing will ever justify this. My daughter is gone, and I'll never get her back. I wish I could be sure she gets justice.
Trust me, she will.
Humanity Front. My people have worked tirelessly.
Where are you, Jensen? I haven't got all night.
Hello, Pritchard. I'm almost in my apartment now.
Well, when you do get in there, connect the neural hub to your computer. I've created a secure tunnel, and I'll take over remotely.
You can access my personal computer.
Who do you think configured your security protocols?
Welcome home, Mr. Jensen.
Actually, I don't know the passcode to my home security system. That would just be silly.
Access granted.
100 extra XP. We need a combat rifle at some point. We can find one here. Armor piercing system. And now we have a very strong pistol at our hands. Yes. Money, more ammunition. Yeah, let's wrap up this mission. Oh, landlord. Replacement mirror again, yeah.
Pritchard, the hub's connected.
I know. Now be quiet and let me concentrate.
I need his name, Pritchard, not his entire genetic history.
That's not his DNA. It's the data he was trying to steal from us before he... My God, Jensen. Your suicide hacker didn't kill himself.
You obviously didn't see his brain splattered all over the floor.
No, you don't understand. The wet drive modification in this chip, it allows someone to hack through you. It turns you quite literally into a human proxy.
So he wasn't working alone. Someone off-site was doing the actual hacking.
Exactly. And whoever it was tried to hide his location by using multiple satellites. But I may have just traced him to here. An abandoned factory complex in Highland Park.
Get me the address, Pritchard. Because if we're lucky, whoever pulled our terrorist strings might still be there.
Good news for once. Although we already knew he was a proxy. Yeah, now we got the code for our security system.
Adam, it's David.
Let me guess. You're sending me to Highland Park.
Not just yet. Frank's figured out why the network's been compromised. There's a persistent transmission coming from Derelict Row.
Street gang territory?
Well, our dead friend was posing as an anti-aug. Who better to hide with than the D-Row ballers?
Right. I'm on my way.
Yeah, Adam has a strict diet of alcohol, cereal, and canned food. Probably one of the major reasons he's so angry that he punches his mirror. Anyway, we have a new mission. Did fairly well this time. No casualties. And successfully completed the whole mission. So, good for us.